Hey, hey, hey.
Hey!
Hello, Savannah.
Hello, Stefania. How are you?
I'm
Looking
great.
beautiful as always.
Oh, thank you. This was just a very quick
Oh,
uphead.
an updo. I wish I can do a very quick, and then look gorgeous.
It was like, oh my God, I've run out of time. It's okay. I'm just going to put it up, um, and it'll do. It'll be just fine, right?
Right, you're always beautiful. You know
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
no matter what you do.
You're so
Okay,
sweet.
so yeah, we're kind of having a little bit of technicalities and just different things that um, we're not expecting with Restream.
A
So,
few changes.
I'm sorry,
A few changes.
just a few changes, and they're about to get no, seriously, because there's already too much stress in our lives to be having to deal with this kind of stress. It's supposed to be easy, supposed to be just click, 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 and you're streaming all over the place. But now it seems to
Mm.
me that
Why do they make it so difficult?
no clue. But you know what?
Just
We're gonna press on.
that's right. And we
So
are here at
yes,
Fun Fresh Fridays.
woohoo!
Welcome, everybody.
Welcome to the viewers and to those that troll. Have you ever heard that word before?
Troll, yeah, that means people that kind of like spy on you, like they're trolling you.
Right after they don't want to watch the live because their names comes up and says so and
Oh,
so is watching with you. So they don't like to watch the live. They like to, they like to uh, troll.
they like to catch it on troll time.
Yes, on troll. Oh, I like that. On troll time. Yeah. So,
Troll.
and I do know, and the reason why I know because I get some comments. Anyway,
Show must go on.
yes, the show must go on, and and the reason why I know is because some topics are being talked about afterwards.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Well, that means we must be, what's it, striking a
doing some
note?
doing something right.
Doing something right?
Yeah, so for those of you that are watching live, thank you so much and engaging. And for those that are watching it
No.
during the troll time,
Just right. Hashtag troll time. I think that'd be
um,
great.
yes, that'll be great.
But there's
That
nothing wrong with trolling.
no,
Everybody
there's
does.
nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. Nothing
Nothing
wrong with
wrong.
that.
We've all done some trolling in our time.
Well, I tell myself, I tell you when I'm watching your videos, and I'll say I don't comment, but I do watch it. So,
Exactly.
see,
Troll
troll
time. Here we
time.
go. We got the first
Yes,
one. Troll time.
yes,
Thank
yes.
you. And
And
who's that? That's
that's
an.
that is Nicole.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Thank you, Nicole.
Nicole. Yeah, so troll time. People watching you and they don't want to, they don't want to say anything. So yeah, troll time.
We welcome you, even on troll time. How about
Yes,
that?
yes, we would love to hear after.
Oh,
During your troll time, just comment.
I like
Love
that.
and
I
like.
think we can start something new here. What do you think?
Yes, yes,
Really
troll
make
time.
this
I
troll
like that.
time a big thing. I
I
think
like
so.
that. I like that.
All right.
Yeah. So last week we talked about um what did we talk about last week? It's been a week.
Let me go back and have a look.
Oh,
That's terrible.
it's
That's
been a
terrible,
week.
Pas, isn't it? It has been a big week. I'm sure. And Comment if you've had a big week this week.
Yes, I mean, it's
Big week.
just,
I think everybody's having big weeks.
yeah, I think well, now I have to go back and look.
Yeah, me too. That's what I just said.
Right. So
How-
we were actually talking about um
Being
you
overwhelmed with life and exhausted, and
yeah,
know,
yeah. So
what
since we
to title it. There you go. That's why we can't remember, because we didn't actually put a title to it. Remember, we just sort of jumped on and said, let's just talk about anything.
Yeah, we did. Well, we did kind of put a title, but I think did we? Did we?
Coping
No.
skills. That's right. We were coping with the fact that
Yeah,
we didn't
that's right.
have a topic, and we were coping with that.
Yes, yes. We didn't really have a topic. We just wanted to talk about our different coping skills. And
Mhm.
so now we're going to talk about when we recognize these coping skills that the person is, we recognize it because we gave some good tips. We gave some, you know, uh, it, a lot of good topics that we really touched about, about um, stress, anxiety. And actually, that is when I had opened up and said to you and to the rest of the world, I felt I was just talking to you. Uh, no, no, I revealed, what I've been going through these past since August. Yeah, since August. Um, of course, you knew about it because we're very close, and I tell you pretty much everything. And sometimes you get on my hiney uh, and say Zanetta. I just love it when you call me. Just love it. So you've been there for me. You have been there for me, and you have offered help as well. A majority of the time, I don't take your help, take your offer.
What,
So
what's the next level up from majority of the time?
often, often, often,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Um, so what? How did you? Because our topic is what if the person that you know is struggling, the person that you know that you love is going through
Mm.
something really deep, and you just can't put pinpoint it. You knew because I told you. Um, how do you approach those people that don't want any help? How did you? I know you did. You just kept on talking. That's what you did.
Okay, so you tell me what I do. I think so. Coming from you, because you experienced me firsthand. Let's
Yes.
let's let me ask you,
Yeah.
and then let's see whether your internal representation was what my internal representation of reaching out was.
Okay.
How about that?
Okay.
You don't mind, Danetta, like
No,
doing it
I
like
don't mind. No, not at all. Because mental health, mental illness it needs to be talked about. And I think we have just skimmed over it. And me experiencing the the breakdown, just the spiraling, and I just felt like I was drowning. And and then the thoughts of, oh my God, I have a life. I'm
mm,
supposed to be this person that, has every answer and knows it all. I'm an investigator and I'm supposed to be keen, supposed to be, on point. Um, why the church don't talk about mental illness? That's because it's a stigma. Remember, I openly told you that some of the thoughts that was going through my mind was, it was a stigma of the church. The church, oh, that's that you don't have enough faith. You're not praying enough. You don't believe that you can get well, and you know, or oh, they're the devil. You come to us. Well, you're the main reason why I kind of had a breakdown. You're one of the reasons, but all of this dialogue is going through my mind, and you called me out on it, and you said, Zanetta, this is not like you. Talk to me. And I finally told you, and then you offered, and I was like, I hemmed and I hawed. Yeah. Um, but I knew inside that there was this struggle, this I need to talk to Stefania. I need to, you know, uh, allow her to help me because I can't do this alone. I know that. But then there's this other side, my representation. Oh no, Zanetta, you've been through worse. You've been through trauma, rape, abuse, sex trafficking. You've been through all of that and you've come out, very strong. This is nothing. We can do this together. So that's an internal dialogue that goes on. Um, and it's an excuse, really. What it is that, those dialogues that you can do this, you don't need anybody, you don't need help, you can just continue on. It's really exhausting. And that's what happened. It got to the point to where I lost lost it. I really did. It scared my husband, and it still scares me today. It does because I know there's still dialogue going on, even though I'm getting help now. There's still a lot of dialogue going on inside. But you, my dear, I'm gonna have to laugh at this one because Stefania's voice is now forever in my mind. So
Oh,
when I start to say, you know what, I'm not going to show up. I'm not going to do this. But Zanetta, I would love to be in your position. I would love to be there just to get some tools and see, how they can help. So that's the dialogue that's going on inside now. There's a third voice.
oh, wow.
It's no longer my own. And, you know, um, gosh,
It's okay.
excuse
It's okay.
me. To think about the many people that see me or hear from me or I coach and I talk to and they call me brilliant. I don't hear that in me. The voices that I hear, oh, um, you do that all the time. It's nothing to you. It's not really, brilliant. It's just that that's what you do. So the negative talks are more, how can I put it? Are more, it's louder than the the talks of, but Zanetta, you're so beautiful and you're amazing. It gets drowned. So thank you, Stefania, for
Hmm.
not paying attention to me. And, and you just continue to talk. And you would just, okay, Zanetta, I'm here if you need me. And I would say, I know. But I never once said, help, I need you. You just lovingly took my request of not saying anything, but you just lovingly talked to me. You know, um, you did. So your voice comes now more often. Your voice now comes more often in my mind. Some might say that, my husband's voice should come, Yes, it does. It does come, but my inner representation says, ah, he's your husband. He's supposed to say that. These are the dialogues that happen to someone who has mental illness. And these are the dialogues that needs to be drowned. And I think we need to be more aware and more sensitive and be more caring and loving in how we approach on how we talk about mental illness and how to be there for the person that actually needs help but shows that they don't want any help, which they actually do. So there.
Well, thank you, Zanetta, for being so vulnerable and
Yeah.
transparent. And I mean, that's, I can really understand it's not an easy situation to be in, you know. And I think by you speaking like this, you give voice. You are a voice for others, and you somehow support them. And you know, we listen to where we can give ourselves permission to
Yeah.
speak up and to ask for help or to say yes to help. Because yes, you're right, a lot of the times, you know, unbeknown to us, everybody wants to help us, but somehow that internal representation or that voice, that inner dialogue is saying nobody wants to help me.
Yeah.
They don't understand. Nobody cares. Nobody loves me. Nobody this, nobody that. So, wow. Well, I didn't know that one statement, which I remember I said to you, you were driving in your car. I was
Yes.
kind of, you had a 1 hour drive, and I just was with you while you were driving.
You
You
were
said,
with
"I'm
me all the way.
gonna go, bye."
Yes,
But
you were with
okay.
me. Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
you remember that? And
Yeah.
I really, you know, I meant that from my heart, where I said, you know, I would love to be in your position, you know, because hey, and I really didn't think, or yeah, I didn't think or know, I should say, that it had such an impact. And I'm so pleased because I feel good that I was able to help you in some way, because as a person that wants to help, you know, on the other hand, and for those people that are out there that are helpers and want to save the world, so to speak,
Yes.
or save souls, save people, we hurt when we can't help. It's just this innate loving um, character, personality that we have, that I've had forever and ever, which is good, but it's also detrimental
Yeah.
because you know we can visualize how we can help. We know we can take them here, we can take them there, and take them on this journey of wellness and healing and transformation. And when you've got in the mix that you are a coach or a therapist in some way, in my case, a hypnotherapist, NLP
Hmm.
coach, practitioner, you just got all these tools and you just want to just like give them to everybody. You know,
Yeah.
any therapists out there that are listening to this, I'm sure you can relate to this. But in our journey as well, we've got to know that we've got to hold back. And for me, that was also a learning curve, because I had to change some behaviors. I had to reprogram my mind, because in my mind, I was thinking, well, I know I can help this person. If I don't say something, they're going to hurt themselves, or they're going to I was holding myself responsible for other people's actions, if you can understand
Mm,
that.
yeah.
This is
Yeah. Yeah.
extreme.
Totally. Yeah.
So for me it was like, and you know, when you love someone, um and I love you, Zanetta, I really do, you know, I love you from my heart, my whole being, um and I love you for who you are. And it's this, we've come together in an amazing way, you know,
Mhm.
thanks to another person that introduced us. So we've just grown, you know, we've connected, and we've got this loving energy. I believe you love me
Yes.
just as much, right?
Yes.
So
If not more.
if not more, that's right. Yes, you do. And yeah, for me, it's just like it's natural. But I had to realize that this is your journey. So for those people that, are the helpers out there, understand the best thing you can do when you've offered everything, yeah, is to just offer space, hold space for that person. And you can lovingly help them energetically.
Mhm.
You can send love, energy. Love is energy. Love is something we can't touch and feel and verbalize, so to
Yeah.
speak, but we can send it, transmute it, share it, do all those kind of things. And that's what I did for you, Zanetta. And it hurt me because, my internal representation was like in the beginning, well, not so much with you because, I've gone through the steps and had worked on myself previously. But say, 5 years ago, she doesn't love me anymore. There's something up. She doesn't like me. There's something I did. What did I do? It's all about me, 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 me. It's
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
I had that happened, there's been several occasions where I've done that, where because I love hard. And I've even done it with relationships. There you go, with men, where I've loved so hard that when we love like that, it's actually not,
Toxic.
yeah, it's toxic because we are suffocating that person and that person's just going to run away.
Mhm.
It's like, don't come near me. And all you want to do is love up on them. And I've also had that where I've received that as well. So I kind of have been on the receiving end. So therefore, in my healing and my own therapy, um, you know, I've grown. I've grown. So the best thing for the person that wants the help, okay, this is my you can relate to that. Yeah. Is hold space for that person,
Mhm.
set energetic love, and let them know that you're there
Yeah.
and surrender that. Because what the problem is, okay, this is the part that's detrimental to the person who wants to help, is you are holding that person that you want to help also in bondage. You're holding them energetically, you know, it's a form of attachment style.
Mhm.
And it's not healthy. So you're not allowing that person to be, and you're not allowing yourself to be. So what can you do? You surrender it. Well, what does that surrender look like to you? Well, for
Mhm.
me, it looks like where I sort of give it to God, give it to the universe, surrender it to the Holy Spirit. I even, at one stage in my early years of my therapy and training, I used to have a altar, a surrender altar, and I literally, let's got a shoebox, put a little doily on top. Is that what you call them, doilies?
Mhm. Doily, yeah.
Yeah. And put candles and stones and a little cross, and that was like my altar. And I would like physically pretend I had, so and so's issues that I wanted to care for so much, and put it on the altar.
Mm.
Surrender it, just placing it there. So symbolically, that for me was like I was letting go. Because for to say it and to actually either visualize it, feel it, or do it
Right.
is a total
Yeah.
different thing. So we need to get into that, because we're all so much into the external world,
Mhm.
and the mind will understand that better in the
Yeah.
beginning, until
Right.
we reprogram our mind and you know quieten the conscious mind and go into the subconscious mind, and then you can do all sorts of things without having to physically do it. But in the beginning, that's what I had to do. I had to
Mhm.
physically put it on my altar, and that for me was just so helpful, because it's not mine.
Right.
It's not mine. And I guess it's a bit like what we read about in the Bible, and churches say, put it on the cross. Jesus died for us, so
Yeah.
all our sins, or so to speak, but all our pain and suffering, you can put it on the cross. So whatever that looks like for you, it
Hmm.
can be that. For me, it was this little altar. So know that you have done your best for that
Yeah.
person. Don't beat yourself up, because that's the detriment, that the person that wants the help will then spiral down in their own
Hmm.
illness, because they're feeling rejected,
Right.
feeling all these sorts of things. And when you step back and also put yourself in that person's shoes, I knew, or I know that you have a loving husband and you have some loving people in your life. So I knew you weren't like totally on your own. I think, sometimes there are people that are totally on their own. And, there's a difference too. There's some people out there that, this is really hard to say, but you've got to step back and look at it. Are they playing the victim as well? Because some people get into that victim role,
Hmm.
and you just keep going and them keep stopping. This is like this game people play.
Right.
I know that's for another video, but
Yeah.
we're talking about authentically helping someone that says no but is really hurting,
Yeah.
and you can help them. So yeah, I don't know if I explained myself well there, but
You did.
that's
You
that's
did.
what
You
I
did.
feel is important to
Yeah.
understand.
And here's another thing um, that would help those that are struggling, the ones that you know, don't want the help, or because it's not that they don't want the help. They don't want. I know me. I don't want it to be known because it's shameful. It's it becomes shameful because my personality. They have these different personalities. They have. Are you an introvert? Are you an extrovert? Well, what people don't understand, and this is a part of my training before a long time ago, that there's actually four. So once you understand the four, then you can narrow down, you know, um, these individuals at, just like your friend, and in our previous conversation, that your friend, next thing you know, she committed suicide,
Mm,
and it
yeah.
was a shock to you. It was a
Hmm.
shock to you because it's not in the personality of the person. It, a lot of times, if you take a look at the suicide rate, and if you take a poll, it's not in the character. They were happy. They were, they we just talked. We just had a great conversation. I didn't see any signs. And that's the reason why um, you need to understand the four personalities: the introvert, extrovert, omnivert, and the ambivert. Ambiverts are those that are, you can tell right away they're happy, but then if something happens, their mood changes immediately along with what's happening. They're
Hmm.
able to do that. You can tell. Omnivert, I'm an omnivert. You
Can't
will
tell.
you will never tell because we know how to put that face, that that's why people say, "Oh, you're an introvert." Just I know when to put that on and I know when to take it off, but you will never know. No one ever knows. So, um, that's why people are like, "Oh, Zanetta is a life of party." If you only know what's going on internally. So, those are the personalities, or those are the labels that science has put on. And these are the different characters that we do have. And so, one of them is shame comes in. Shame comes in. and says, "Oh my God, Zanetta, you're successful. You wrote a book. You did this. You did that. How can you possibly be?" That's a dialogue that goes in. Um, so we put on a face. We put on that brave face. We put on that coaching face. We put on that, wherever we're good at. Once we're good, once we know where we're good at, we go in that flow so that it won't be detected.
Mm.
But there are certain slips that I will give you tools to detect, because this is what mental illness looks like. This is what anxiety looks like. This is what PTSD looks like. You would have never guessed. Nobody ever guessed. People think that those that have depression or anxiety or PTSD, they look glum, No, we wear bright colors, we go out, we talk, we have great conversations, we go to parties. We even have a show that is live and it's called Fun Fresh Friday. We laugh. We have great conversations. The moment that we are away, that is when the pre- pretense or the pretending comes off, and the weight of the world is internal. And one of the signs that I can tell you is that, just out of routine, there's going to be one day where they're not going to talk to you, they're not going to email you, they're not going to text you, they're not going to return your phone call until a week or two later, because they're trying to get back. So those are signs. Those are just little nuggets that I'm trying to give you so that you can wonder, hmm, wonder why she's not talking to me anymore. Wonder why she's not texting me anymore. And then they'll text, "Oh, I was wondering. Oh, I was just got busy. Life got busy." They really had no real excuse. They blame it on life. So, you know, those are the different things that you can take a look at, with friends. Um, Another sign is that, they're always on the positive, and then when it comes on the negative, they kind of avoid. It's called avoidance. Because once that's talked about, then the internal dialogue comes back.
Mm.
So, the number one, one is that they drop off, they come back. They drop off, they come back. Another one is avoidance, avoidance of talking about certain topics that, that will shed light on their issues. And that's, one of them that I did so very well.
And you should congratulate yourself on that.
Yeah, yeah,
I think you should and say, "Look, I did that so well.
yeah,
Now I choose how I want
yeah, yeah.
to be."
I've really got good. Um, so when I went to the therapy, I guess because they're trained, and I noticed them looking down, because
Mm.
I would watch them. I would see, how can I, and this is the dialogue that goes in my mind. How can I how can I get out of this?
Mm.
What can I say to have them think that I'm okay? To, sign off. She's good to go. She, because I did it before. Did it well. I got the signature and everything, and, um, And I would look at them intently, and they would look down. And so then I started noticing, oh, they're seeing if I'm fidgeting. So I would sit straight. But then your body will always tell on you. Your body never
Right.
lies. It
Mm.
never lies. So what's going on internally, the body is showing it. And so I'll try to, relax a little bit, but then the body would just go back to, no, I want to curl up. I want to just get out of here. I don't want to talk about this anymore. It tenses up. So even my shoulders, just the slight of my shoulders. So they were looking at my hair to see. So now I started wearing my hair back. These are different techniques that people that have mental illness do. They, just to just to have that face of I'm okay, the pretense. I'm okay. Oh, I'm good. Oh, I'm good. You'll see the hair back or up in a bun. Um, so that you won't see the slight change of the shoulders tensed up, or you won't see the little fidget of the fingers, or the slight gentle shake of the leg, because what it is that the body is trying to say, okay, just be calm, but your heart rate is still going, and your mind is still racing, and you're trying everything in your power to have the person to shut up so that you can go on about your business. So that's some of the things that people that have mental illness. And for those of you that are having some anxiety and don't want to admit, or it's too shameful for you to say something, for depression, for I didn't even know, Stefania, like I was telling you, I said I didn't even know. I thought it was normal.
Mm.
Thought it was normal. I thought what I was doing was
Yeah,
normal.
but that's what happens because we're just so used to it. We just adapt, and what it becomes normal to you. Like that is
Yeah,
just that's just your makeup now. It's like,
yeah,
well, and you move around it, you maneuver
yeah,
and do things to accommodate.
yeah, yeah. And I didn't know that having problems sleeping is one of them. I don't have problem falling asleep. I do have issues staying asleep, um, or having sweats at night. I thought it was menopause. No, that was totally different from menopause. Um, and also nightmares. Just different nightmares. Uh, those are symptoms. It's your brain telling you there's something wrong and we need help. And
Mm.
and the lack of energy um, when no one's around, because all of a sudden when somebody comes over, hi, how you doing? Oh, lovely. as soon as they
Awesome.
as soon as they leave, it's exhausting, tired, you know.
Yeah.
And when you find yourself no longer happy or excited about doing something that you love, uh, that's another sign that, you know, get help. Yeah, get help. And like what I said, I didn't know. I didn't know there were certain triggers as well. We talked about triggers. Um, but I was like, yeah, that's normal. So to get upset over something, that is normal. No, it isn't. No. Um, what isn't normal about it is that when you avoid it or when you pretend, it doesn't phase you any. You know, there's a pretense because you have to keep that facade. You have to keep playing that role that I am okay. Yeah.
So going back to, you know, yourself now, with knowing that people want to help you because they just truly want to love you, and you knowing that, which I think you already know that, but you knowing that it's okay to say yes to help,
Yeah.
regardless of whether you're a coach, a doctor, or, anyone that, in their mind thinks they shouldn't be asking for help or receiving help because they're the helpers, right? Because this is how
Right.
I'm hearing it
Right.
from you, that you
Yeah.
are in a position where you've helped many people, that I can't be showing up like I need help now. I mean, what
Yeah.
would people think of me? What would
Yeah.
people say
The,
about me?
the dialogue is, you're a fraud. That's the
Mm,
that's the internal dialogue. Well, that's my dialogue.
mm,
That I
it's okay.
Yeah, that I'm a fraud, and uh, that I shouldn't be helping. I shouldn't be helping these people because I need help myself. So therefore, I'm a fraud. How are you going to go out here and be, you know, and that's probably one of the main reasons why I did not want to be successful, because I know it's gone inside of my mind. I know it. Um, and the stigma behind mental illness, not only with society, but with church. You know, I even debated to even say anything on Fun Fresh Friday because I know some of my church folks watch it. And I had to overcome that.
Mm,
I had to, make that commitment to me that I will do everything to get better. Um, this is a battle, within myself, and the 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 talk, the dialogue, the oh, oh, she's on there and she's talking about mental illness. That's of the devil. You know how demeaning that sounds. How is it that here I am? I used to be a first lady. I used to be a women's leader. I used to speak to I used to speak at women conferences. Here I am going to talk about mental illness, and we've put out that that's of the devil. Yes, that dialogue of I'm a fraud comes. It's more loud than, no. These are real issues. These are um, uh, real illnesses that has been put on us because of trauma, because of church, what church people say. Um, and that's why a lot of people don't get help because of that.
mm.
So, but I had to make a commitment to myself that if I want the help, if I want to get better, I should accept everything that goes with it. And that's even being ridiculed by the church or being called having a demon.
And I ask this question that to, you know, these people that would be ridiculing you. So
Yeah. It's easier said than done. You
I
know,
know, I know,
it,
you say that a lot. You say that
yeah.
a lot.
Yeah,
But
it's easier said than done. You know, it's you can always say so, but really, we are human beings that want connection. We're we're that's what we're born. We're born to connect. We're born to belong. We're born to be able to have a human interaction, a human experience with other human beings. So to say, well, so is it's easier said, you know,
mm,
especially when you have a friend who just out of nowhere just cussed you out, called you all kinds of names, and then all of a sudden they'll say to you, "I never liked you anyway," and then you're like, "Oh, okay." But in your mind,
mm,
that dialogue or that instant or whatever happened continues. It plays and plays and plays and plays. What did I do? You just said it earlier. What did I do? I didn't even do anything. I was
mm,
even a good friend to this individual. Even though
mm,
she was treating he or she was treating me so wrong, I still showed love. I just don't know what to do. And then people will be other people will be like, "Well, just so what? Who cares?" We
mm.
do.
And the reason I said that, Zanetta, okay, and I'm really, I really acknowledge what you're saying and what you
Hmm.
feel about that. But for me, because I had that very same thing, that very scenario of someone cursing me out of a friend of 12 years, okay,
Hmm.
totally explode on me. And the crazy part was this time, I just looked at it for what it was and I had to make a decision. And it was in the time that my father was on his deathbed. There was a time, there was a lot of issues and chaos and heartbreak going on in my family because of what was happening with my dad, right?
Hmm.
And I had to make a decision. And even if that wasn't happening, even if my father wasn't in hospital, we have to look at it objectively and say, well, what can I do about this? Where do I want to put my energy? Do I
Hmm.
want to try and convince this person that I am a good person, I've done all this? Or do I just step back and accept it? And you know what? It was the hardest thing I had to do. And you know, you have also experienced and witnessed me go through this with someone else that you
Yes.
know of.
Hmm. Yeah.
And it literally tore me apart.
Yeah.
And where was it taking me?
Nowhere. Well,
Nowhere.
down.
Exactly. And self-sabotaging,
Hmm.
self-tormenting,
Hmm.
and self-blame, and all those self things that we do that are not uplifting and keep us in
Hmm.
a low vibration, because that person is hurting and that person is on low vibration. So we come down to that.
Hmm.
So this time round, I had to play my part differently, totally differently. And it killed me. It did, but I just had to tell my mind that I still love this person. I can still love this person, but also accept what they've told me or how they feel about me. I can't
Yeah.
change that.
Right.
I can't change that. And I had to make that split decision. And it's like washing your hands. You've been in the garden and you've been digging and potting around, and you got to do something with that dirt in your hands. You
Hmm.
can't bring it into the house and start cooking.
Right.
You just will
Mess everything up.
make a
Yeah.
nice muddy, dirty dish.
If you're into that, if you're
You're into
into earth.
right. I had to wash my hands. And that's what I did symbolically. I had to cleanse myself and just send love to this person. And if I hadn't have done or experienced even what I experienced beforehand and worked on myself and experienced more, I
Mhm.
wouldn't be able to come to this, you know. And I offered space. I said, when you calm down, give me a call. But more venom came out of this person's
Mm.
dialogue mouth, and I had to accept it, and that was it. I was actually grateful because then that made me realize, well, do I really want to be with these people? So coming back to you and these church people, and if they're criticizing you and judging you, well, who are they really?
Yeah.
And they're in church praying and praising God and Jesus. No disrespect to churchgoers, right?
Right.
But we have to take a look at ourselves that if we are in that journey, in that path, we
Mhm.
can't be criticizing, we can't be ridiculing because we're just going against everything that we hear the preacher talk about
Yeah, or what the word says, not really what the preacher talks about, because
or what the word
yeah,
says.
but what the
Exactly.
word says, and that's why earlier I said I just had to make that decision, you know,
Right.
for myself, not, you know, they're going to do it anyway, um, and I know who they are, and I know who they are, and who cares, like, but it's still that dialogue still comes in,
Mhm.
and this is some of the the struggles of a person who's trying to get rid of those dialogue, not succumbing to the dialogue, to the conversation that goes on in the mind, like the self blaming, or you shouldn't be like this. Oh no, you don't want anybody to see you like this. No, we got to continue this facade. We got to continue this. But I just told the therapist. I said, one question that was asked, what brought you here? And I always answered. It was different therapists that asked the same question. And I answered the same way. I'm exhausted. I'm tired
Mhm.
of pretending. I'm tired. I can't do this. It's mentally, physically, emotionally exhausting. And that, um, and being a counselor, I recognized that I was getting closer and closer to contemplating. I know. I, oh, I, the many thoughts that zoom through my mind quickly, I would recognize it as a counselor, and I'm like, oh my God, you you can't do that. So I turn on the radio or put on an audio book of having. I listened to Robin Sharma, the one who wrote the monk who sold his Ferrari.
Right. Yeah.
I loved it so much that I um, got the 5 a.m. club,
I know
and
that's good too.
yeah, that's another good one. And so I listen. I put it on blast. How many times have I done that? Several times. So because of the thoughts that come so quickly, I mean, it comes quickly, Stefania. I wasn't even, I'm just driving home, or I'm driving to the grocery store. A quick thought of, oh, there's a semi coming at full speed. If you just go right, split second, just split. If you just turn your wheel, hit head on, you won't make it, and the world will be a better place. That is a split second thought that I have to kind of, oh no, because as a counselor, I recognize it. And I knew that I couldn't continue in this state, because if I did, that thought would win. one day. And I didn't want that one day to come and, you know, leave loved ones wondering why, what happened, how come we didn't see this, you know, what was going on, because I counseled other people with, you know, other clients with this. So I recognized it, and it just got exhausted. It really did. So Robin Sharma gives my two thumbs up.
And look
um,
at you now. I mean, look at
yeah,
that. You're actually a voice now for all these people that,
I'm still
I
a
mean,
work in progress.
it doesn't matter. We're all a work in progress.
Yeah,
This is what I think, we forget is till the day we die, we are still working
yeah,
on ourselves. We are still a work in progress. It's it's awesome, to think, how has this really served me now?
yeah,
And we just have to accept that it served me so much.
yeah,
And
yeah.
you've done a great job at Zanetta.
Thank
Zanetta,
you.
you've done a great job, even
Thank
for
you.
not accepting help.
Yeah.
So what are your how are you, are you more open to accepting help now, or are you like, what are your views on this? What would you tell people out there that, you know, are in your situation or have been and are still struggling with that, because deep down we know we need help, but we
Yeah,
won't admit
yeah,
it. We won't take responsibility. We won't succumb to the fear of everyone knowing.
yeah. Well, um, I would say that get professional help. Professional. Um, because they're trained to do this day in and day out. Um, my new therapist, she's wonderful. She'll ask me questions that throws me off. And I was like, oh, wow. Well, that's a good question. You know, so I'm not prepared because they know, I guess, through my file, they see that I used to be a counselor. So uh, so this one is very, very savvy. I give kudos to her. Um, she asked me questions that would, like, whoa, I wasn't expecting that question.
Mm.
um, so I would get an immediate reaction of, whoa, I didn't, well, you know what? Gosh, I don't know how to answer that. You know, she said, well, let's talk about it. And so we'll talk about it. Then I'll like, oh, dang it. She got me to talk about something I didn't want to talk about.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. I was like, oh, God. She said, now that you hear yourself talking about it, what do you think? I said, God, whew, this is the first time I've ever spoke about it. And I feel like that I have more power, more control. I, yeah. She was like, good. Yeah, it was so professional help. Definitely professional help. You know, having a friend to talk to and uh, being honest, uh, be careful as to who that person might be.
Exactly.
Um, you know, parents, loved ones sometimes are a bit biased. You would want someone who is, you know, that is on the
And someone that doesn't know you, I think it's very
yeah,
important to, be connecting with someone that you trust, like, and know, but don't know them personally.
yeah,
They're not part your inner circle, so to speak. They're part of your professional circle where you go to your doctor and seek help. You go to a
Hmm.
professional, a therapist, um,
Yeah.
and seek help and not have that intertwine.
Right. So something popped up on my screen where the chat is. So I won't be able to see any kind of chat. So if there's anyone that
Oh,
makes a comment, you would have to put it up because I don't
oh,
see anything. Something came up on my side and I can't, I don't
yeah.
want to click on it and uh,
It's yes, we're all a work in progress.
we haven't arrived. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm still in a baby stage, getting, help with the mental illness. And like what I said, some of them I didn't know. I thought it was normal. Thought it was, and um, and so the my therapist said, that's not normal. It isn't. Uh, so yeah, that's it. That would be one of my main things is to go to a professional because sometimes like you love me and you want to see me better or you want to help and you have that sense of I can help you. I want to do this because you're my friend and um, sometimes we get into that mode and honestly this is what goes on in my mind for those that always say, well, you can call me. You're not the only one that says that, Stefania.
I'm sure I'm not. I'm
You're
sure
not the
I'm
only
not.
one. If you're, um, you can always call me if you have what's going on in my mind. And this is going to be transparent moment, even though I've already been transparent. Um, I'm not going to tell you. That's a
Of
dialogue.
course. Yes.
What can you say
That
that
I
can
don't.
help me? That yeah, I know more than you. What can you tell me? So those are the different dialogues that are going through my mind, and I'm pretty sure if it's going through my mind, it's going through somebody else's mind. Um, so and also another dialogue would be, oh, here we go. The hero complex, and this is because I used to be a counselor. These are the words that I know that comes in my mind. Oh, the hero complex. Here we go. Here they come to save the day. Oh, I helped Zanetta. That's a dialogue. That's a hero complex. Um, so they might, the ones that don't have counseling background, they might say, oh, they just want to, get the credit in helping or here's another thing that they can talk about on their live or I had a client or I coached someone, so these are the different dialogues that happens within someone who feels um, it feels like they're being uh, the person is overbearing, you know tell me. Yeah, I can help. Call me. Are you okay? Are you doing? That's so. Thank you for the space that you have given me. That
Always.
didn't allow me to have that dialogue, um, but what it allowed me to, what my brain allowed to be entered was the excitement that you had. I would love to be in your position. I was like, what? It was a different. It was different. It was different from you need help, I can help you. All you need to do is this: meditate, um, or take time for it. Have some me time. Go get your hair done. Go get your nails done. Spend some time and love on you. So these are the different dialogues that people say that are overbearing. That so so yeah. So you gave me that space of you're actually a friend that just said something off the wall, so crazy. I'm like, what? You what? You you want to do what? But that allowed my guard to come down and let that dialogue come in. And every time I feel like I don't want to go because I have to face some trauma that I didn't want to talk about, I don't want to talk about. Um, and I hear your voice. I would love to be in your position. Just love it. So
Oh,
that's
I'm glad.
where that's where the self uh, the self negative talk, the talk of you're a fraud, you're you're the worst thing that ever happened. Um, you're the scum of the earth. Things like that, those dialogues. It drowned it out. It allowed another conversation to come in. So that's hey, ladies. Let's see who that is.
Sure
Huh.
who that is.
Hmm. Uh, we have to use discernment when it comes to vulnerability. That is true. That is so true. Yes, that's
Nicole.
yes.
Okay. And
Yeah.
then we have the lovely
Monica,
Monica.
yeah.
Oh, boundary.
Boundaries. Yes. Yes. There's just and oftentimes, especially with leaders.
Uh,
What's that?
it's not. It's Teton.
Oh,
Oh, this is
no,
Teton.
oh, okay. I thought it
He said,
was
"Hey, ladies." That was
oh, the
him.
Hay, yes, the Hay ladies. Yeah, yeah. The
Welcome,
the one that
Teton.
said that we have to use discernment when it comes to vulnerability is it's
Nicole.
Nicole. Yes,
And Monica just woke up, apparently.
yes. Welcome.
Good morning. Evening now, I think, isn't it?
Yeah. So especially with us leaders that have um, a mental illness, it's harder to really come out and say something because, like what I said, part of it is shame. Shame is a huge, uh, it's a huge deterrent to get help. Um, that's one of them. It's a huge. Once you get over the shame of it, that like what I said earlier, this is what depression looks like. This is what anxiety looks like. This is what PTSD looks like. I didn't even know that there's such a thing called complex PTSD. That's what I have. I have, well, I'm working through complex PTSD. So,
Mm.
and is it curable? Um, our minds uh, remembers, and when our mind continue to remind us of certain traumas or certain things, those dialogues have to be trained. They have to be drowned. And so, with our topic, how do you help a person who does not want help? do some off the wall stuff like what you did. Because it's not the same dialogue. It's not the same. I'm going to help you, help you, help you. I'm here if you need me. Call me if you need me. Really? Do you think that that you're the first person in my mind when I am about to do something incredibly stupid? No. So when you say something that just, I was like, what? She said, oh, you were laughing. You were like, oh, I can just see you now. You're like one of those horses or those that they're pulling and their heels are just dug in. I was like, oh my God. And you even, and that visual stayed with me. And it was just comical. I was like, oh my God, that's exactly
How
what.
I envision it, like a cartoon character, of a horse, someone trying to pull a horse to water, so to speak, and he's up on his hind legs, digging with his heels. And I know I visually, I really explicitly explained
Yes.
it to you, so you got
Yeah.
that vision. Yeah, I
Yeah.
did that.
Yeah, and we laughed, and I laughed, and I was like, "Oh my God, that is me. That is me. That is me." And so when I start to feel that um, that hesitance to go to the therapy sessions, that image comes to me, and then your voice saying, "Oh, Zanetta, I would love to be in your position." I'm like, "Oh my God, okay, okay, I'll go. I'll go." Yeah, so it's different, not the, you know, what do you call it, smothering. Don't,
Mm,
we're, we already feel smothered.
mhm,
Don't
mhm.
smother more. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that space
And
that you were talking about is good.
I think too, that comes from working with a lot of men. Can I say that? Because men generally, not all, but you talked about this shame of admitting that I need therapy, that I need some help. Men don't want to admit it. No man has a problem. No man has an emotional problem.
Mm,
No man has problems with women.
mm,
No man has problems with women in bed.
mm,
No man has any problems. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, because they're a man. And that's okay. That's, again, that's how they feel, and they don't want to. So you need to approach it. You need to talk about it in different ways
mm,
that the mind will not grasp onto, because that's their programming. That's their, you know, internal dialogue that you need to shock it. So it's what we call breaking state.
mm,
And that's what I did with you that day. I
mhm.
broke some state with you.
Yes. Yes.
Ah.
That you did. Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome. I'm glad it worked. I was like, I'm that to me is just music to my ears, because there is, you know, that you are working through it and you're doing a great job.
thank you.
And we have to realize, and I speak to myself about this too, where we need to realize that we are working. If we look back at where we were and how we felt a year ago, 2 years ago,
Mhm,
as to now, and how much we've learned, and what you we will see there has been evolvement. There has been some changes. We've got a
right.
big note here. I'm not sure whether it's from Teton or Nicole.
It's
Can you read
Nicole.
it? Yeah.
It's Nicole. I'm reading it from my phone, which is good. um, when you haven't been able to trust in the past, people find it hard to trust something as simple as seriously, call me. Um, if you are struggling, I realized I had to let people who actually meant it through discernment help because I'm I mean it when I say it to people. One, because I'm kind and move in love and light, and two, being a therapist myself, allows me to hold space for family and friends.
Mm.
Aw, that's that's beautiful. Her name is Natasha, but she has Nicole on there.
Oh.
We'll call her Nicole
Is that Natasha?
Mills.
Oh, okay. I didn't know whether it was
Yes,
the other Natasha.
yes. Monica Young said, "My therapist asked me, what does your faith tradition say about what you did?" I said, they say it's sin. See, there is no atonement for shame, but either way, we have to forgive ourselves.
The
Nicole said,
government.
for government purposes, her name is Natasha.
Oh,
That's for the government.
okay.
Yeah, and yeah, it. Monica said it. You know, what would the church say? Oh, that's sin. You know, but then where does forgiveness come in? It doesn't give it room. So yeah,
I think
sometimes
if we start talking about the church and religion, we would be here forever and ever because
forever
I think that just, yeah, it's
because
interesting.
we ourselves, speaking of church, it's man's interpretation. It's it's, it's man's interpretation. Um, but what I go by is that the scripture that says God forgives whom he forgives and he saves whom he saves. And I also use for God so loved the world. So he loves me. Um, and I am the world. And also that he will never leave me nor forsake me. And that's also till death. So that's my take on it. That's my take on the Bible. When it comes to mental health, religion, and politics doesn't matter. It's about being a human being first. Amen. Amen.
Mm.
Yes. Amen. On that note, we have been on here for an hour and 17 minutes and 49 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's what I said. We can talk about this forever and ever about God. But I think this has been a great conversation, Zina. And thank you
Yeah.
so much for being transparent and vulnerable. And I think
Yeah.
that's just wonderful.
Thank
And
you.
you're a voice for a lot of people out there. And you're doing a fabulous job.
Thank you.
You're always doing a fabulous job.
Oh, I strive to.
You
I
just
strive.
do. You just because you're being, and and I think when we remember that we're just being the best version every day, then that is enough.
Yeah.
That is enough. We have to remind ourselves we are enough.
Yeah.
We are enough, and we all have bad days. We just got to ride them out, ride those waves.
Yes. And when those waves crash, get back on that surfboard.
Or yes, yes,
Do it
yes.
again. Do it over again. Thank you, Zanetta, for sharing. I love you. Oh, love you too. Nicole. Nicole Millie. I'm not gonna tell. I'm not gonna give her government name. Yeah. So yes. Thank you.
Having a little laugh there as well.
I really appreciate it. I thought that even with this journey that I just started, sometimes we usually wait until we have conquered so many things, and then we talk about it, and we'll talk like. I just thought that we would talk about it while I'm on this journey, so that you get it. You get the image of what's going on, and how someone with mental illness kind of thinks. It's not across the board. It's totally different from with everybody. Um, the but the self dialogue of negative is louder than the positive. So, and we don't show it here. No, this this remains glamorous. Smiles. Yeah. Well, thank you, Stefania, as
No,
always.
thank you. Thank you. And it's always wonderful talking to you on lives, off lives, any time.
Yes, we have fun.
We do have fun. We do have fun. And thank you once again. And thank you to everybody who has, been listening and chiming in and, you know, let those messages come. And for those that are going to watch it on the replay,
On the troll time.
on the troll time, we talked about that earlier, missed that earlier.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's
Thought that
was
was funny.
hashtag troll time. And we love you still. We love the
Yes,
trollers that are
yes,
around. We
yes,
love you even
yes.
more.
Love you. Love you even more.
And we will talk about possibly something that'll carry through, obviously, from this, because
Yes.
you always come up with some good topics that, it's like a bit of a series that goes on.
Yeah.
So, we talked about, last week we talked about coping. Today we talked about, what do we do when people don't need your help. I think that's a really big one.
Mm-hmm.
Just remember, love up on them, hold space and just love up
Love.
on them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if they are mean and they are disrespectful and they are crossing boundaries, because in when people are hurting, remember, hurt people.
Yeah.
Don't take it personally. Still hold space for them and step back, because you have to look after yourself as well. You have to take care of yourself and your own mental illness, because it's energy that they're
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
expressing, and I call it a form of vomit when they do that, that you will pick up on that energy. You'll pick up on those fumes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it'll affect you. And if you're an empath like me, it'll affect you. So for your own mental health, if you're the one that wants to help, just it's okay to step back.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
okay to step back. Let them know that, when they want to, that you're there for them. You may want to, send messages like, "How you doing? Just checking in on you." If they don't answer, and then just, you have to accept that. It's not about you, it's about what's going on with them.
Right.
And don't take it personally. Just be loved, because we're all one. We're all connected.
Mm-hmm.
So using this energy of love is so powerful from a distance, non-verbally, silently sending love is just as powerful as actually expressing it to that
Right.
person live.
Right.
Okay, because I think that's what we really need to understand here. Love is love. And you can be next to someone and not say a word, but that person can see
Yes.
that love oozing out of you for them.
Yeah.
So understand that, and be gentle on yourself. If you have, if you do get slapped around a bit as you want to help someone,
Right.
just like take those slaps as kisses.
Right. Take it like a
Yeah,
champ.
yeah. So that's my share there.
Yeah.
And so, Sarah, do you have any takeaways on?
Yeah. You know, because I know the stigma, I know it's hard to come out and say, I just made a decision that I will speak. I will speak. Um, and be brave about it. And, just hopefully we're helping, someone. I'm not looking for a mass. I'm just looking for that one person that, you know, that could be helped. And help those that are frustrated in wanting to give help but get rejected. So, yeah, it's good.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right. So thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
And as always, we will see you next. Oh no, next week we're not going to be here. You're not going to be here. You're going to be at the Page Awards. You didn't do your plug.
Yes.
Quick plug.
A
Or
quick plug. Page Awards. It is on November the 6th at 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's going to be in Chicago. It's going to be at the Clarion Hotel, and the Page Awards. I posted something on my page, so please take a look at it. It's a video um, showing what the Page Award is about. It's very heartfelt, is very powerful video so that you can see what this cause is about. It's for um, uh, the special needs community. Wendy, the founder of the You Belong Foundation, has created this atmosphere where we celebrate those that are with special needs and disabilities, and they show their talents, they show their gifts, and they're given an award, you know, to make them feel that they belong, that they, with their gifts and their talents, and being a part of this human race, this human experience, that they make they make this world a better place. They really do. So take a look at it. Go to the youbelongfoundation.org on the website. And if you can't make it, we've extended by popular demand the tickets. We've extended until October 31st. But if you cannot make it, you can also donate a ticket. You donate a ticket or donate. There's a donate button there as well. Donate tab, should I say. And donate for the cause. We are very appreciative. And also, Wendy is going to be live. I'm sorry, not live. She's gonna be on WGN TV Saturday morning at 6:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. So for the WGN TV viewing area, please watch Wendy as she explains about the Page Award on, I think it's People to People. I think that's what it's called. The show for the Chicago show, it's People to People. So stand by and take a look at that. Put your DVRs on, whatever it is. Yeah. I think we have TiVo. My God, I never knew TiVo existed still because we're in Ohio. Yes, it does. I thought TiVo was done and over. No, it's here in Ohio. So, um, set your channels. And I believe you can get it online. I'm going to make sure, I'm going to look at it as well to see if you can watch it online. And we'll give you some more of that. Also, Stefania may not say it, but I'm going to say it. Stefania has a book coming out. So see you. So be on the lookout of Stefania's new book. And it's really great. A really great. I had fun reading it. I really did. I was like, oh, really? Okay. So be on the lookout. Her
yeah.
second book is coming out. So support, support, support.
Oh, thank you, Zanetta.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good. So until next week, what are we doing next week? Am I on my own or am I?
You can
No.
be on your own if you want to, but I'll do a
Oh,
little bit of live on Friday. I mean,
oh, yeah,
not Friday, Sunday. I'll do a little bit of live on Sunday just to show the audience what's going
yeah.
on.
Or I
But it
might
was like,
just wait for you for the week after so we can have a good chat about the Page Awards. I think
yes, yes,
we're about
that'll be
that.
great. That'll be great. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So thank you. Thank you, everybody. And as always, send you love and passion. And we'll see you next time.
We'll see you. What is it? November
Weeks.
what? What is it? November. We will see you
13th.
uh, November the 11th.
Oh, the
Oh,
11th.
Veterans Day.
Mm. See you then.
Bye.
Bye.